Hi, welcome back to the Safety Storytellers podcast. My name is Stacey and I am your host. And I get the opportunity to talk to Jason Trancho with Cintas. And I love his idea of people's why, understanding people's why. It's an interesting concept, and I really like how he talks about it. Take a listen. All right, we're here with Jason Trancho. Ranch with a T and an O, right?
There you go.
Okay.
That's how you do it.
So just so you know. We met last night. We had a nice time chatting, and so I'm looking forward to hearing your safety story or just your perception or perspective on safety.
Okay. Well, what I thought I'd talk about a little is how to reach the hearts and minds of the people that you support. Safety is kind of subjective because some people, when you take risks, some people are more willing to take risks than other people. I mean, you go through life, whether it's sports, whether it's driving, whatever it is, some people's risk levels are all different.
So true.
Yes.
Okay.
So you have to, what works for one person might not work for another. So like a big part of me is my family. So if somebody started talking to me about my family, how it would affect my family, that would hit home. But somebody who maybe that's not so important to, that's not going to hit home to them. So it's going to they're going to kind of dismiss it on the back end and go do what they need to do, what they think is the right thing to do.
Sure.
So to reach the hearts and minds, you have to know who you're talking to, number one. You have to get it. You have to know their personal story too. So if you're talking to somebody who maybe had an experience with an accident, car accident or something, that's probably the angle that you want to take to kind of get your point across to them.
Right.
And it's different for everybody. Some as you go higher up into the hierarchy of a company, it could be money, because they may not necessarily connect for the corporation on the corporation level. But you tell them you're going to save them $100,000 if you reduce injuries by this amount. That's how you can get your point across.
Maybe they care a little bit more. So
right.
How do you get to that place with people? How do you get to their center?
It starts with talking with them. I mean, all the answers don't come. You can't manage safety from behind a desk. So you have to go out wherever it is. If it's a warehouse floor, if it's a production floor, if it's driving, you have to go out with the partners. That's what Cintas goes with the employees, and you have to talk to them. You don't right off the bat start pointing out what they're doing wrong. Hey, this is what.
Defensive.
Then
I'm not going to listen to you.
Exactly.
Like any relationship.
Exactly. That wall goes up, and you're done.
Yep.
You're done. They're just going to think you're a finger pointer.
Yeah.
You have to show a genuine care for whoever you're with, and once again, it's getting to the point to understand what will make them follow the safety procedures that you have. Nobody, I don't care who you are, nobody goes out and says, I think I'm going to get hurt this morning, right? Or I think I'm going to get into a car accident, or I think that's why they call them accidents, right? But you have to get to a point where you can talk to them and they trust you, and you're not doing it because we need to check this box, we need to get in, you need to get our numbers down or whatever it may be. You're doing this because there's a genuine care for your partners, for your people. And
how did you come to learn this?
Well, I put a lot on. I used to coach football with my son. I have 4 children. So I used to coach football with my son. And one of the big things I used to stress to them is you're going to play like you practice. So if you practice hard, you're going to play hard.
Yes.
If you just will kind of walk through practice, that's going to reflect on the playing field as well. So I kind of try to take that mentality with, hey, if this person wants to go out and do something unsafe, how can I show them that it's unsafe and how it will affect them? And try to get them to understand that it's not a switch that you can flip on when you come into work, that you have to carry this into your personal life a little bit.
It becomes you.
Yeah. So it's an easy transition when you go to work. Like with COVID, it was big because sometimes we were telling them they can't do things, but they can do them outside of work. So there's a little bit of disconnect there. Hey, so I could do this outside of work, but I can't do it. Yeah, because there's a little bit of a difference going in there.
Sure.
So,
Okay.
and so that was a little bit of a challenge here too.
So how do you apply this into your job at Cintas?
Well, the first, as I said before, you don't want to be like accusatory. You don't want to be kind of finger pointer, right? It comes with one, loving your job, believing in your job, believing in what you're doing, and a great example that I could show of how this kind of worked more or less would be we had a situation where we have this driving training that we do all the time, and it's a great driver training, and that's one of the things I tell them. Hey, if you apply this outside of work, it'll be, if you're teaching your kids how to apply this to them, you don't have to do it by the book. Just tell them the basics. And we got a story back about how somebody was in line waiting to get onto an on-ramp or make a turn, and they looked into their rearview mirror and they saw that the person behind them that was coming wasn't stopping. They wasn't stopping. So they were able to, what they call, leave themselves out and pull over to the shoulder. And unfortunately, this person hit the car in front of them, but that could have been that person, right? And they came back to me and they said, well, thank you for we're applying this training outside of work. And if I wasn't doing that, it could have been a bad situation.
Absolutely.
So those, when you hear things like that, it kind of makes you, all right, I reached him.
I think this is a really good topic because it's sometimes it's hard to have somebody or to want it for them. Like, I want you to care about safety when they don't care about safety
right.
that much. There's a lot of people that maybe just really don't care that much. And so it's finding that thing inside of them that's like,
yep, the things that motivate them. And you're going to have those people who, I've been doing this for 30 years and I've never got hurt. Why do I have to change? And the last thing you want to say is, because I said so, right?
Oh my God.
That'd be
I was
click.
just talking about that the other day. Because I heard that so much growing up,
right? Mm-hmm.
That I am so adverse to it. So when I over-explain to my children,
right?
They're like, why? And I'm like, okay. And we sit down and have this big conversation, and I'm like, there's a place in the middle here.
Yeah.
For that,
yes.
Because I'm not going to say because I said so.
Right.
People want to know why.
Yes.
They're curious and they want to understand the why. And you're saying, like, here's the why.
Right.
Your why may be different than this person's.
Absolutely.
And being patient enough to listen,
right.
talk, ask questions, be curious to each person and understand their why.
Yeah. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, right? You should be listening more and speaking less.
Oh my God. I don't like that. I just want to talk about it.
Yeah, no, that's okay. And the more you get them to open up and not tell them what to do, explain to them why you should be doing this way or why it's safer to do it this way, the more success you're going to have, in this field. That's the way I've seen it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, my pleasure.
Really, really wonderful.
It has been.
Getting to know the Cintas crew and all of your colleagues. You guys are just a really great group.
Well, thank you.
How can they find you? If they want to know more information about what you do, how can they find you?
They could email me. My last name, Trancho. My first initial. So it's tranchoj@cintas.com.
Perfect.
So it's real easy. All right. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on the Safety Pro Roundtable. This podcast is brought to you by Sospes, bringing you the best EH software in the industry. If you're ready to learn more about how an EHS software can transform your safety program, your profits, and your entire company, head to www.sospes.com/podcast. That is www.sospes.com/podcast. We'll see you next time on the Safety Pro Roundtable.